All right. Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive.
Absolutely. Always ready to dig into something new.
Well, today, we're taking a look at something pretty interesting, pretty unique. It's former President Trump's announcement of a U.S. crypto strategic reserve.
Yeah, that definitely caught my eye, too.
So we're going to try to get a handle on what this all means. And honestly, I'm kind of right there with you trying to figure it all out. It's been compared to the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve,
Right.
but for, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies.
It's like, yeah, instead of oil, we've got Bitcoin, Ethereum, all those digital assets. It's definitely a bold move. I mean, no surprise coming from him, right?
Right.
But yeah, as you can imagine, this is sending some serious ripples through the financial world.
Yeah, for sure. And for the listener, if you're not quite up to speed on this, think about it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Governments have always held reserves
Right.
of things like, gold or foreign currencies.
Exactly. The classic safe havens,
But a crypto reserve.
That's a whole new ballgame. It's uncharted territory, really.
Totally. And speaking of those ripples, I mean, they look a lot like tsunamis when you look at what happened to Solana and XRP.
Oh, absolutely. Massive price swings.
Some of these articles you sent me, show Solana jumping like 15% almost immediately.
Yeah, right out of the gate.
After this was announced, and then, later on even more. I'm seeing reports of like 20-25%.
And XRP, oh man, even bigger jumps. Some sources are reporting 33 to 38% increase. That's in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
I think what's fascinating here is how much weight a government endorsement
Right.
can actually carry.
Yeah.
Especially in a market as young and volatile as crypto.
Yeah, it's almost like the U.S. government just gave Solana and XRP a gold star.
Right, like a seal of approval.
And now everybody wants in. The sources also mentioned a huge surge in trading volume for both of these.
Oh, yeah.
On platforms like Binance, Coinbase. It seems like everybody's trying to ride this wave.
Yeah, it's understandable. Everyone's looking for the next big thing, right? But here's the thing. That kind of frenzy, that often signals volatility.
Yeah.
So sure, yeah, there's potential for big gains.
Right.
But there's also the risk of some pretty big losses, too. And that's why it's important to kind of understand what's driving this move beyond just the initial market hype.
Okay, so let's get past the hype for a second.
Let's dig a little deeper.
Let's dig into the strategy here. Why create a crypto strategic reserve in the first place? What's the end game?
Well, based on these articles you sent, there seem to be several objectives at play.
Okay.
First, there's the obvious kind of power play, positioning the U.S. as the leader in the crypto economy. It's about staying ahead of the curve and maybe even setting the rules of the game, right?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. But I have a feeling there's more to it than just wanting to be,
right.
the cool kid on the crypto block.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. For one, it's also about diversifying U.S. asset holdings. That old saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
Well, that applies to national reserves, too. Traditionally, those reserves have been heavily weighted toward gold and foreign currencies. So adding crypto into the mix, this adds a layer of diversification, potentially reducing risk, reducing vulnerability.
So it's like hedging their bets a little bit, spreading the risk across different types of assets. But I'm guessing it's not just about playing it safe either, right?
Right.
What are some of the more ambitious goals they're hoping to achieve?
Well, one of the big ones is the potential to actually stabilize financial markets.
Okay.
Think about it. A sudden economic shock hits.
Right.
Maybe a major currency crisis. The government could quickly liquidate a portion of its crypto reserve, inject that liquidity into the market, and potentially mitigate the impact.
Okay, interesting. So instead of just holding crypto as a store of value, they're thinking about using it as an active tool to manage economic turbulence.
Exactly, yeah.
But wouldn't that require massive coordination?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe even global cooperation.
You're hitting on a key point. The global implications of this are huge.
Right.
Imagine if this U.S. strategy works.
Right.
Other countries might start to follow suit, creating their own crypto reserves. You could end up with this global network of crypto reserves all working to stabilize the global financial system.
Wow, that's a pretty mind-blowing scenario.
Yeah.
A whole new financial order built on blockchain technology.
Yeah.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's focus on the U.S. for now. What are some of the other goals driving this move?
Well, there's a big push for supporting innovation, particularly in decentralized finance, or as people like to call it DeFi. Think of DeFi as this kind of parallel financial system built on blockchain technology where you can lend, borrow, trade, and do all sorts of financial activities without needing those traditional banks or intermediaries. The U.S. seems to be signaling that they want to be at the forefront of this DeFi revolution.
Okay, DeFi. Now that's a whole other rabbit hole we could explore. But I'm starting to get the picture. They're looking to diversify, to stabilize, to innovate, all at the same time. Pretty ambitious, to say the least.
Yeah.
But what about the impact on the crypto industry itself? How does this move affect that whole landscape?
Well, one of the less obvious but potentially significant goals is to kind of push for regulatory clarity within the crypto industry.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Right now, the regulatory landscape, it's pretty murky.
It is, yeah.
A lot of unknowns. By creating this reserve, the U.S. is essentially saying, we're taking crypto seriously.
Right.
And that could incentivize them to establish more concrete regulations, which could actually be a good thing for the industry in the long run.
So instead of trying to stifle crypto with regulations, they're hoping to kind of nurture it by providing a more stable and predictable framework.
Yeah.
That's a pretty interesting approach.
It is. And let's not forget the potential for economic growth.
Right.
The crypto industry is creating jobs, it's attracting investment, driving innovation. The U.S. government is clearly hoping to capitalize on that growth and foster a thriving tech sector within its own borders.
Right. So it's not just about global influence. It's about boosting their own economy, too.
Exactly.
It sounds like they're trying to hit a home run with this strategy.
Exactly. But like any ambitious undertaking, there are risks involved.
Right.
And one of the biggest ones is that the very volatility we talked about earlier, big swings in the crypto market could actually undermine the stability they're hoping to achieve.
Yeah, that's a good point. If the value of their crypto reserves suddenly plummets, it wouldn't exactly inspire confidence in their strategy.
Precisely. That's why it's important to kind of dig deeper into how this reserve will be managed, what specific cryptos they'll hold, and how they plan to mitigate the risks involved.
All right, so let's dive into those details.
Yeah.
I'm particularly curious about Solana and XRP. These are the two cryptos that Trump specifically named. Did he just hand them a golden ticket?
Well, it's certainly a major boost for them.
Okay, we got to unpack that.
We will.
Right after this.
Yeah, I mean, being included in this U.S. Crypto Strategic Reserve, it's like getting a seal of approval, from the government itself. Like, hey, we think this is legit.
It's like a stamp of approval from Uncle Sam.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And that kind of endorsement can be huge, especially for those institutional investors.
Right.
Think the big players like BlackRock, Fidelity, those kinds of companies. They control trillions of dollars in assets. But they've been pretty hesitant about crypto up until now.
Right. They've been dipping their toes in, but pretty cautiously.
Exactly. Yeah. So this could be the bridge that brings those institutional giants into the crypto world.
Okay. Potentially.
So we're not just talking about the price of Solana and XRP going up.
Right.
We're talking about potentially changing the way the whole financial system works.
Yeah. That's the big picture. And it's fascinating to watch it unfold. If this U.S. strategy proves successful, it's not hard to imagine other countries wanting a piece of the action.
Right.
You could see a domino effect.
Yeah.
With more and more countries creating their own crypto reserves.
So hold on. Let's explore that idea a bit further. A global network of crypto reserves all working together. I mean, what would that even look like?
That's the question, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what a lot of experts are grappling with right now. Would there be some kind of international body?
Right. Coordinating it all? Or would it be more decentralized, like the crypto networks themselves? And what would that mean for the global financial system as we know it? I mean, the U.S. dollar, it's been the dominant currency for decades.
Right.
Could a global crypto reserve network actually challenge that dominance?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big question.
It is. It's definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this so intriguing. The current global financial system is largely built on this thing called the Bretton Woods Agreement, which was established way back after World War II.
Okay.
And it put the U.S. dollar at the center of everything.
Okay, so quick history lesson. Bretton Woods made the U.S. dollar the king of the financial hill.
Yeah, the top dog.
But you're saying that crypto could potentially dethrone the king.
It's not about dethroning necessarily, but If enough countries embrace crypto as a significant part of their reserves, the demand for U.S. dollars could decrease, and that could lead to a decline in its value and influence, potentially shifting the balance of power in the global economy.
Yeah, that's a pretty huge shift. But let's not get too carried away. I mean, we're still in the early innings of this whole crypto game, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's important to be realistic, but we also can't ignore the potential for disruption that crypto represents. Things are changing, and this U.S. crypto strategic reserve is a big part of that change.
Okay, so lots of potential upsides, but also some big unknowns.
For sure.
What about the risks? I mean, we talked about, the volatility of the crypto market.
Right.
How does that factor into all of this?
It's a major consideration. If the value of the U.S. crypto reserve plummets, it could undermine the entire strategy.
Yeah.
They would lose credibility, and other countries might be less likely to follow their lead.
So they're taking a calculated gamble here. They're betting that the potential benefits of crypto outweigh the risks. But what if they're wrong? What if the crypto market just takes a nosedive?
Well, that's where the management of the reserve becomes, really crucial. They'll need to carefully select which cryptocurrencies to hold, how much to hold, and when to buy or sell.
Right.
It's a delicate balancing act.
Yeah. And that brings us back to Solana and XRP. They're the first two cryptos to be included in this reserve. What does that tell us about how the U.S. government is thinking about this strategy?
It's an interesting choice. Solana is known for its speed and scalability, which are essential for a global financial system. And XRP has long been positioned as this kind of bridge between traditional finance and the crypto world. So it seems like they're looking for cryptos that can actually be used for real-world transactions, not just speculation.
So it's not just about picking winners and losers in the crypto market.
Right.
They're looking for cryptos that can actually support the goals of this reserve. Stability, innovation, global adoption.
Exactly. And that raises a really important question for anyone who's thinking about investing in crypto right now. Should you be rushing out to buy Solana and XRP just because they're part of this U.S. reserve?
That's a great question. What's your take?
I mean, it's never wise to make investment decisions based on a single news event, even one as potentially impactful as this.
So don't let the FOMO, the fear of missing out, take over.
Exactly. There are lots of factors to consider before investing in any cryptocurrency, but this is definitely a development worth paying attention to. The U.S. Crypto Strategic Reserve could be a game changer, not just for Solana and XRP, but for the entire crypto world.
Okay, I'm starting to get the bigger picture here, but let's bring it back down to earth for a second.
Yeah.
What does all of this mean for the average person who might be interested in crypto but doesn't have a PhD in economics?
That's a crucial point. This isn't just some abstract academic debate. It has real-world implications for everyone. The way we think about money, finance, and even global power is being challenged by crypto.
So even if you're not planning to buy Bitcoin tomorrow, you should at least be aware of what's happening and how it might affect your life.
Absolutely. The more informed you are, the better equipped you'll be to navigate this new financial landscape.
Right.
And who knows, maybe you'll even decide to get involved in the crypto world yourself.
All right, I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed by all this information. It's a lot to process.
It is.
Can you give me a quick recap of the key takeaway so far?
Sure. So we've talked about the immediate impact on the market with Solana and XRP prices surging after the announcement. We've explored the strategic goals behind the reserve, things like diversification, stability, innovation, regulatory clarity, and we've even touched on the potential for a global shift in reserve asset strategies, with crypto potentially challenging the dominance of the U.S. dollar.
That's a great summary. It's amazing to think that a single announcement could have such far-reaching implications.
It is. And we haven't even talked about one of the biggest wildcards in all of this. Decentralized Autonomous Organizations, or DAOs.
Wait, DAOs. You're really going to throw another acronym in the mix.
I know,
Yeah.
but hear me out. Imagine a future where these decentralized organizations powered by blockchain technology are playing a significant role in the global economy. They could be managing those crypto reserves,
right,
issuing their own currencies, even governing entire countries.
Okay, now you're just messing with me, right? DAOs running countries. That sounds like something out of a science fiction novel.
It might sound far-fetched, but the technology is already there, and the potential is huge. Imagine a world where power is truly decentralized, where decisions are made by consensus, not by a small group of elites.
I don't know if I'm ready for a world run by algorithms, but I'm definitely intrigued by the possibilities.
Right. Maybe
Yeah.
we need to do a whole deep dive episode on DAOs sometime soon.
I'm game if you are. Yeah, yeah. But for now, let's stick to the topic at hand.
Right.
The U.S. Crypto Strategic Reserve is a big enough story on its own.
It really is.
So we've covered the market reactions, the strategic goals, the potential risks, even the global implications. But what does this all mean for the future of crypto itself?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is the million-dollar question. I mean, what are your thoughts? Is this the moment where crypto finally goes mainstream, or is this just another hype cycle that will eventually fade away?
Well, that's what everyone wants to know, right?
Right.
And there's no easy answer. But here's what I find interesting. This move by the U.S. government, it's not just about adopting crypto. It's about trying to shape the future of crypto. They're sending a signal not just to other countries, but to the crypto industry itself.
So it's like they're trying to nudge the crypto world in a certain direction toward greater stability, more regulation, maybe even integration with the traditional financial system.
Exactly. Yeah, they're not just passive observers anymore. They're active participants, and that changes the whole dynamic. It creates a whole new set of incentives for crypto developers, for investors, even for everyday users.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this could play out. If the U.S. succeeds in creating this stable and well-regulated crypto reserve, it could become a model for other countries to follow.
Right.
And that could lead to wider adoption, more investment, and ultimately a more mature and integrated crypto ecosystem.
That's one possible scenario, but there are other forces at play too. I mean, the beauty of crypto is that it's decentralized, it's permissionless, and it's constantly evolving. It's not controlled by any single entity, not even, a powerful government like the U.S.
So even if the U.S. government has a plan for crypto, there's no guarantee that the crypto world will follow their script.
Exactly. And that's what makes this so exciting. We're witnessing this clash of ideologies, a battle between centralized control and decentralized power. The outcome is uncertain, but the stakes are incredibly high.
This is starting to feel like a high-stakes poker game, with the U.S. government just throwing a big stack of chips onto the table. What do you think the other players, China, Russia, the European Union, what are they going to do?
They're watching very closely, analyzing the situation, and trying to figure out their next move. Some might see this as a threat, an attempt by the U.S. to maintain its global dominance. Others might see it as an opportunity to join the game and shape the rules to their own advantage.
So we could see a race to create crypto reserves with each country vying for influence and control.
It's definitely a possibility. And that raises another interesting question. What about the role of central banks in all of this?
Right.
They've been the guardians of the global financial system for centuries. What happens if crypto starts to erode their power?
Right. Central banks, they control monetary policy. They issue currencies. They manage interest rates. How would they adapt to a world where crypto is a major player?
That's a question that's keeping central bankers up at night. Some are already exploring the possibility of issuing their own digital currencies. They're often called central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs.
So it's like they're trying to co-opt the technology, create their own version of crypto that they can consume.
That's strategy.
Yeah.
But it remains to be seen whether they can truly replicate that decentralized and permissionless nature of crypto. It's like trying to put a wild horse into a stable.
Wow, this is getting pretty complex. We've got governments creating crypto reserves. We've got central banks issuing digital currencies. We've got DAOs potentially running countries. It's hard to keep up with it all.
It is. It's a lot to take in. But that's the nature of innovation. It disrupts the status quo, creates new possibilities, and challenges us to rethink the way things work. And in the world of crypto, things are moving at warp speed.
So what's the bottom line for our listener? What should they take away from all of this?
I think the key takeaway here is this. The world is changing. The way we think about money, finance, and even power is being transformed by technology. Crypto is just one piece of that puzzle, but it's a big piece. And whether you're a seasoned investor or just, starting to learn about this stuff, it's important to pay attention.
Right, because this isn't just about making money. It's about understanding the forces that are shaping the future. It's about being informed, being adaptable, and being ready for whatever comes next.
Exactly, yeah. And who knows, maybe our listener will be the one driving some of these changes. Maybe they'll be the ones creating the next groundbreaking crypto application or building the infrastructure for a new financial system.
The possibilities are endless, and that's what makes this such an exciting time to be alive. We're not just watching history unfold, we're participating in it.
Well said, well said. And I, for one, am excited to see what happens next.
Me too. But for now,
Yeah.
I think we've given our listener plenty to think about.
I think so, yeah.
Thanks for joining me on this deep dive. Your insights are always invaluable.
It was my pleasure. Always a great conversation.
And to our listener, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking questions. The world of crypto is full of surprises, and the only limit is your imagination. Thanks for tuning into the deep dive. We'll see you next time.